What's going on, everybody? What's up, MP? How are you doing? Hope you guys are having a wonderful evening or day wherever you're from. So let's talk. Let's go ahead and talk today. Yeah, talking about life. So I have a few theories about anxiety, and I have a few theories about other things. The corona. I can't say the other word because YouTube is actively censoring the virus. So that's interesting. Like if you type in, see, they censor the coronavirus. See, you have to type in it correctly instead of just popping up already. It's such a popular term. They don't want people finding it that easily, which I think is kind of sad. So I just kind of wanted to talk about anxiety and talk about other things. Can you guys hear me? Can you hear me okay? Because I haven't been on this computer in a long ass time. So I was just wondering if you guys could hear me or not. Okay, all right. So I just I wanted to talk about other different topics today. Some of the topics that are very important to me. So, based on my subscribers, like I get, let's see, on my live streams, I'm averaging about 200 views a video, and there's over 30,000 subscribers. So that's like a hundredth of my subscribers or less that are actually seeing my videos. I don't really care. It's just really weird to me that I'm not having more viewers per video. It's really weird. But I really wanted to talk about anxiety, and I really wanted to get into a detailed about it and what I feel anxiety might actually be. What if I told you that I think that anxiety might be because what I said earlier in another video? What if people with anxiety have an average of a higher IQ than people that don't have a higher IQ? What if people that have anxiety on average have a higher IQ than people who don't have anxiety and have a lower IQ? Is this a possibility too? That is what I'm trying to figure out because everybody that I talk to with anxiety seems to be pretty smart. Seems to be really smart, actually. So I'm just trying to figure that out. Also, I wanted to talk about the coronavirus, my opinions on it. These are not facts, these are just opinions. So YouTube don't have a ball. I genuinely believe that the coronavirus, in my opinion, is man-made virus. But this is just my opinion. This is not a conspiracy, but it's just my opinion. I am not saying that the coronavirus were a conspiracy. I'm just saying I think it was a man-made virus created by the Chinese, and that's all I can say. The reason I say this is because I find it very interesting. Without talking to a virologist, I don't know if that's the. Let me look at. Let me see if that's the correct wording. Virologist. Yeah, virologist. Yeah, it's actually that's the right wording. So, if what if I told you that I feel in genuine in my soul that some of these viruses that are created by man. I mean, it's kind of funny, if I talk about this, YouTube probably will remove the video. But I don't even think YouTube would remove the video because I'm not breaking any YouTube rules. But I feel like just sometimes I just feel like these viruses that create mass chaos around the world and that are easily transmissible and are easily obtained through sneezing, through coughing, through blood transfusion, all these different things. I I just have a feeling that they're created by man. I just do because it's funny in China they eat animals like crazy in some of those provinces of China. They've been doing it for hundreds of years and they've been fine. They've been fine. They do it. They've been doing it for hundreds of years. They're fine. So how is it that out of nowhere, all of a sudden, they get this massive disease out of nowhere? Then, when you look at the facts here, now if you look at hold on, okay, well, there was news about it earlier. I don't know why Google defends China so much. All right, like this right here. This is the New York Times. The coronavirus live updates: Wuhan to round up the infected to mass quarantine camps. Now, if you look very, very carefully at everything and you notice that the censoring that does happen in this country, I can't believe it's happening. It should be bad. It really should be. There should be no censoring. Unfortunately, they censor. They're trying not to scare people. I'm not even trying to scare people, but the fact of the matter is, viruses like this, how do they just pop up out of nowhere? I mean, they've had other versions of the coronavirus, but I mean, how do these viruses just kind of just say, you know what? I'm just gonna attack all these humans. Fuck it. Here you go. Here, get sick, mother trucker. Like it doesn't register. It doesn't register with me how all of a sudden a virus can just come out of nowhere and then just attack all these people and then disappears as fast as it comes. Trying to figure that out. Trying to figure that out. Now, if it is the governments that are making these sick viruses, if it is, I'm not saying I'm not saying that I'm crazy. I'm not saying that I'm paranoid, but I just find it very entertaining and interesting that all these viruses that kill millions of people over the last 150 200 years, bubonic plague, the black plague, how does it start is my question. How does it just pop up out of nowhere and then all of a sudden just kill massive amounts of humans? How? Okay, but what I'm saying is how? And then the thing that I don't get and the thing that concerns me is when I was younger, right? My dad told me that he never got any shots when he was a kid. He didn't get any vaccine shots or anything like that when he was a kiddo, right? He never got any shots or anything weird like that. He never has any mental disorders. Think about that. Most people who never got injected uh, never got any mental disorders. Yeah, my dad doesn't have any mental disorders. I find that very interesting. My crazy aunt did, but my dad never got any mental disorders because he never took any of those injections when they were a kid. I find that kind of interesting in a way. When I was a kid, they gave me all those shots to prevent sickness at schools. But back in the 60s, 70s, they didn't really have all that shit. No vaccines like that. They did, but it wasn't like a lot of vaccines, etc., etc. And my dad never developed anything. I find that pretty interesting. But when I was a kid, I was given a lot of vaccines. Either take them or don't go to school and then get in trouble with the law. So they forced all these injections on me when I was a kid. And I remember them. So I get all of these different injections to supposedly keep me from getting sick. So I have these dormant viruses in my body. And now I have anxiety, depression, PTSD, agoraphobia. I can't think clearly half the time before taking Ativan. They put me on all these antidepressants, antipsychotic medications, and then I have anxiety since I was a kid. But before I had all these medications put into me, I didn't have anxiety. I was a fine child. All of a sudden I have ADD, I'm freaking hyperactive all the time. In my honest, genuine opinion, and I'm not going to say any more because conspiracy somehow, but it's not a conspiracy to me. I just find it odd that after taking these injections when I was a kid, these vaccination shots, all of a sudden I develop anxiety disorders, depression, and all this weird stuff that I never had as a kid. It was like a learned trait almost. It's very strange. Very strange. And sometimes I do think that it was the vaccines. I've come to that conclusion. I just find it very odd that my dad never had any shots. Only got the flu a couple times in his life. Maybe 2 or 3 times. I don't know how many. But never died from that. And then I get all these injections. Knock on wood, I've only got the flu twice. But I become sick. I have anxiety. I have depression. I have balance issues. I have multiple sclerosis now. So I kind of find it odd because my mom didn't really have all these problems. But I don't know what happened with that. No, my dad never had any of those injection shots. I just find it very odd. I just find it very odd. That's it. Oh yeah. The food sucks. Yeah. All the chemicals. Yeah, all the chemicals. Right. You're right about that. You are 100% right about all those chemicals. Right. Yeah, you're right about the chemicals. That is true. That is true. Yeah. Yeah, it's not even real food, right? Like you can't even go anywhere and get some real food anymore. You are 100% correct on that one. Fucking allergies, bro. And milk gives me anxiety, not sure why. Milk intolerance, huh? I don't know. What do you guys think? Think about this for a second, though. And let me ask you another question about our government. Why does the government hate us? That's my question. Why does the government hate us? That's what I want to know. Why does the government hate us? That's what I'm trying to figure out. Dude, I just said, why does the government hate us? I didn't say, why does Trump hate us? We're just a number to them, huh? At the end of the day, it's all about the money. At the end of the day, it's all about money. Greed. That's all it is. While they become more powerful, we become lower to them. Isn't that sad? Isn't that sad that everything that we go through in life, all these people that work hundreds of hours a month, 40, 80, they work all their lives, wasting their whole lives. Instead of being in calmness and nature, they're forced to get in a car, go to work every single day for about 50, 60 years, die, and then that's it. They slave their whole lives and then they die. Like, what kind of life is that? Like, I know that people love their jobs and stuff like that, but what kind of life is, well, let me just go ahead and slave for about 50, 60 years. Oh, I'm dead. Like, like that's what I'm saying though. Like, these people that work at McDonald's, Burger King, Sonic, like they slave Walmart, after computer jobs or whatever, IT techs. But what I'm saying is, it's like they work their whole lives, right? And then they die, but they get nothing for it afterwards. Their family gets something for all the hard working hours that their mother, their father, their cousins, their sisters, their brothers worked. They worked for all their whole lives for many years, or maybe up to 50, 60 years, 70 years even. And then they die, but what happens to them? They don't get any recognition at all. And then people praise them for working, yeah, okay. But did that person ever get to have a life? Or were they just a slave to society's norms? Because if they didn't work, they'd be on the street. Because why? Because the money, right? Because the paper runs. We run on paper, which is weird. We actually run on paper that's made by the governments. Because why? Because I guess that's just how the world works. Society works. Shit, some people don't even get the hole in the ground anymore. They get the burn treatment. Ooh. But don't you just kind of find it funny that these people work 60, 70 years, 50 years, they get a medical ailment, and then they don't even get approved for a disability. But yet they'll work for 60, 60, 70 years. And they get nothing out of it. But what? A disability check of $1,700 a month after they spent their whole life working? They spent all those years, think about it. They spent all those years working, waiting in traffic, getting into car accidents, fucking all that shit, all those years, just to die. I'm not saying not to work. I'm just saying, like, all these years are wasted. Your body is dying every day. Well, it's getting older every day. And you waste all these years that you could have a life to live, but then you waste it on working every day, Monday through Friday, for the whole year straight, just to have money to slave for a boss that gets to go home at the end of the day and doesn't have to work as hard, the society is very strange. I'm not saying that it's not right to do it, but I think it is very strange. When you look at society as a whole, it's either work or be on the street. I don't ever I don't ever remember people in the 1500s having to work and be on the street. I just remember them having to plow their fields, kill a few animals, eat them, eat some lettuce or whatever, and they were good. I just find the whole thing very strange. That's it. That's all I can say. Just find it very strange. Just very strange to me. Humans are workhorses. They work until they die, but they get nothing out of it. But what's their reward at the end of the week? A check of what? 15 2000 15 to 200. I don't know, 1500 to $2,000 every couple weeks. Most people 1500, 2000 a week, whatever. So what do they get at the end of the day? What do they get out of it? They get nothing out of it. They get nothing out of it. But what? What do they get out of it? That's what I'm trying to figure out. What do they get out of it? Money? Ooh. Paper. Like let's say this was, $100 bills. And you put that to a lighter and you light $1,500 on fire. That's what happens. Rent, cell phone bill, cable bill, car payment, car insurance, water bill, electric bill, over. $1,500 is gone. So you worked for 40 hours of your lifespan to pay just to keep alive and not be out on the street. I think the only way that somebody could live a good life is if they worked really hard when they were very young and they grabbed a lot of money really quickly and then used the rest of that money, like if they made like a few $1,000,000, then use the rest of that money and go low profile on let me give an example. Some millionaires live in apartments, okay? So if you calculate a payment, right? No, not bank robbery, legal means, legally obtain the money. Let's say they got an inheritance. They were lucky enough to get an inheritance from their former family member, right? Their dad or their mom or whatever, their aunt, right? So let me give an example. Hold on. Some millionaires live in apartments. So let me just give you an example here. Utilities calculator. Where's the stupid calculator? Oh, there it is. Okay. All right. Right now in San Antonio, if you don't live in the rich side of the city and you live in the normal side of the city, you can get an apartment right now for $650, $600, or even $700 for a 2-bedroom. So let's just think. Let's say, I don't know, let's say they have like $5 million inherited money, right? Inherited. So if they have $5 million, let's say their rent car, they buy a car, they buy like a brand new Honda Odyssey or Hyundai Odyssey or whatever the hell they're called. Or they buy a Toyota Camry or they buy a SUV crossover, they buy a Toyota Tundra or something stupid, right? Let's say they have 500 million, 5 million after taxes in there. Let's just say right now my checking account has $5 million in it, right? Let's subtract 700. Let's say they pay 700 for let's just a real tight ass millionaire, okay? So let's say they pay 700 a month for an apartment minus 700 times 12. So let me just try to. I don't know how this works. Hold on. All right. So let's see. 5 million minus 700 times 12. So after a whole year, they will be at 4,900,000. This is just for rent. $4,991,600. Actually, I think it'd be cheaper to get a house. Okay, never mind. But some people live in apartments. I think it might actually be cheaper to get a house. Let's say you have 5 million and you buy a $200,000 house. So you have 4.8 million now. You bought a $200,000 house, paid it in full. Taxes on it are about 4,000 a year. So we're going to subtract 4,000 after with taxes. Let's just even it out. So you have $4.796 million left. Let's say your cell phone bill is $200 a month. Well, you're rich. So your $200 a month times 12. You're at $4.793 million for a whole year. So you've already spent $270,000 about. So assuming you do that for 12 years, you spend about, if you're tight, okay, I'm going to go to the dealership and buy a brand new car. It's $27,500. Okay, I'm down to $4.766 million. Okay, so I have a car. I have a house, and I pay my electric bill, water bill, cable bill, etc. each month. Well, let's subtract another $10,000 for all those amenities per year. You're looking at 4.689 million. So about $4.689 million. Now, assuming that you don't go a lot of traveling and you just buy gas or something, you're going to probably spend an extra $5,000 in gas a year. So let's go ahead and times that by 12 years. You'll be spending about $865,000 within 12 years, assuming with electric, water, cable, gas, car payments, car maintenance. Well, no, you won't have car payments, but car maintenance, trips. So you'll spend about $865,000 a year. Now, if you're really, really, really okay, and if you spend, right? Okay. So if you spend about $865,000 to get yourself financially set, you might not have to spend that much. But let me do a real calculation for you guys. Let me do a real calculation for you just real quick, okay? I'm going to do a real calculation right now. Okay. Let's go into a life of a millionaire. Now, I don't know what that's like, but I used to live with one, so I know what the expenses are. Let's say you're lucky enough to have exactly $5 million after taxes. Let's say it was an inheritance of $5 million straight even. And right now, let's say I have $5 million in my bank account. So I'm going to take into effect of, I'm going to get another calculator out. Hold on. We're going to see exactly how much you're going to spend a year if you're being tight about it. Okay, two calculators. We're going to have two. So 5 million. So let's say a cell phone bill, let's say there's 2 cell phone bills and 4 lines or 2 lines of cell phone service is $100 a month. So $100 a month times 12, that's 1 year, remember that. 1 year. That's $1,200, and that's on the cheaper end of cell phone coverage. All right, $1,200 a year. You're paying for 2 lines of service to have access to a cell phone network. Now, let's say your cable bill. Let's say you want a cable bill. I wouldn't have a cable bill. So let's just say internet bill. Okay, the internet bill is $75 after taxes times 12. $75 after taxes times 12 is $900. So $1,200 plus $900 equals $2,100 a year. So let's say you go out and you buy, so 21, okay, let's go ahead and write that. All right. So for cell phone, it's $2,100, and for cell phone, it's $2,100 a year. And then for cable or home internet, to have really high speed fiber internet in the area which you live in is, let's say, $70 a month. So $75 after taxes was $900. Okay, so $900 for home internet. Okay, so $900 for home internet, $2,100 for cell phone a year. It's very expensive. Okay, so that's exactly $3,000 a year, and that's just for home internet and cell phone. Now let's take into account of buying a brand new car, because when you're a millionaire, you're probably going to want to get a luxury car. But if you only have $5 million, you probably want to keep it on the down low, cheap. So you probably want to get a new car. So let's look at the cars here. Hold on. Let's go ahead and look at the new cars. Toyota Camry, highest trim level 2020. Let's say you look at a Toyota Camry. We're gonna go with most expensive Toyota Camry. Hold on. We want one with everything. Standard collapse XSE V6. The one that has the most check marks, I guess. Okay, here's a standard Camry. Okay, the XSE V6 Nightshade Edition. What the hell is that? What's the highest trim? Highest trim of Toyota Camry. XLE. XLE V6. So there's a V6 model of the Toyota Camry. Let's say you go with the highest end of a Toyota Camry. Let's just say you're gonna spend build. Okay, here we go. Here we go. Here's the most expensive trim. Here we go. It's a Toyota Camry XLE V6. $34,580 starting MSRP. And 22 to 33, 22 city, 33 highway. But that's on the V6. That's not bad. 33 miles per gallon highway. Holy sh! Oh my God! Look at the hybrid though. Wow, that hybrid though. But anyways, the standard Toyota Corolla or Toyota Camry is the XSE. It gets 39 highway, 28 city. That's not bad. Okay. So anyways, all right. So let's just say we get the XLE V6, which is 34,580. 34,580. So 37 after taxes, maybe. So we're just to say new car, because you got to have a car when you're a millionaire. You got to have a nice newer car. It doesn't have to be the most impressive car, but it's going to be a nice car nonetheless. So you're going to spend $37,000 for a new Toyota Camry, and it'll be reliable, so you won't have to worry about maintenance other than oil changes. So we'll include the oil changes. So the average oil change for a Toyota Camry is $65 times. Well, how many miles are you going to put on it? So let's just say 4 times. So 6, 12, 18, 24. We'll just say 240 in oil changes. 240 oil changes for the first year. Assuming $100 in car washes over the year. Um, assuming you don't have any scratches or dents, it'll just be car washes and oil changes. Because the first year, your car should have no issues. Tire rotation, if you want to do a tire rotation, is probably going to cost you about $60 if you do it 4 times a year, just so you don't wear out the tires faster. So 240, 160, 240, 340, $400. So $400 in maintenance, not too bad. Assuming nothing goes wrong with the car, but Toyota has to cover you for the first 1,000 miles. Powertrain warranty. Okay. So assuming the first, okay, the new house, right? Zillow.com houses under 300,000. You want to go cheap. You don't want to go expensive when you only have $5 million. Okay, let's see. They got some houses here. Oh, okay. Okay, here we go. Ooh, beautiful house. But you don't want to go too bad. You want to go like a price range of $279,000. You get a 4-bed, 3-bath, 2,600 square feet. You probably want to go with a 3-bedroom house when you have this kind of money to be tight. And this is a really expensive area too. There's no HOA fee. So $198,900. The house is only 2 years old, and it's in a really upscale neighborhood. Price cut of $10,000. Estimated mortgage payment would be $1,000 a month, and it's in a really expensive, rich area of the city. And assuming that you're going to be a millionaire, you're going to want to. Yeah, this is a really nice neighborhood. Go back to the map, though. Okay, so you probably want to go with a house in a quieter neighborhood. Oh my fucking god, look at that house, though. Okay, there's a house here for $493,000. That's too expensive, but it's huge. 3,311 square feet. That is ridiculous, bro. But now they're getting too expensive at this point. You want to go a little bit cheaper, I'm sure. But you do want a two-story house though. You don't want to get a cheap house though. This one looks brand new. That's perfect. That looks old. Okay. This is like a one-time investment though, so it's just the house and the taxes. That house looks nice, and for the price, ooh, it's exactly almost 200,000 even, so about 215,000. If you pay in cash, you could probably get it for maybe about 195,000, 194,000. If you pay cash or direct check, you could probably get it for like 194,000. You could probably bring the price down a little bit. This thing is nice. What kind of neighborhood is this? Oh wow, this is a really nice neighborhood. Look at that. That's a really nice neighborhood though. Quiet. Yeah, that's a really nice neighborhood. Quiet neighborhood too. New subdivision and everything, and no HOA fee. Where is that at? It's on. Oh, okay. Okay, it's up there in Stone Oak. Wow. Okay, so 200,000. Really rich area of the city. No HOA fee. Taxes might be a little bit higher if you're living in that area. So let's just say 200 and after taxes and closeout and payment And no mortgage. You're gonna probably spend. Oh, plus you want to have a maintenance too. Well, it's gonna be a brand new house. It's only a year old, so you're probably gonna want to get an inspector. So that'll probably be like $1,000. So probably like $204,000 after taxes and everything. Everything else that you need to do, titleship, ownership, blah 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 blah, paying everybody off. 204,000. Let's just say. So 204,500. If you get like that nice house right there and you pay it in cash. So 204,000. The initial investment is gonna be 204,000, and then of course electric. Let's just say it'll be 200 a month because you're gonna have a big ass house. You need a big air conditioner to cool it and heat it. Or I'm gonna say minimum 200 a month. So 200 times 12. At minimum. $2,400 a year. $2,400 a year. Water will probably be like in that kind of house if you have a lot of people living in it. $140 a month. No, San Antonio water is cheap. I would say 100. So 1,000 a year for water. Like I said, the internet bill's already in there. Oh, gas bill. They're definitely gonna get you with the gas. $50 a month. 50 times 12 for the water heater. 600 a year. Anything else? No HOA fee, so that helps a lot. So gas will be 600. Water will be 1,000 a year. Electricity will be 2,400 a year, especially during the hot of the summer. And the house itself is $204,500. Car wash on a new car will be about $100 a year because it gets really dusty during the summertime. So you'll constantly be washing your car, so that'll be about $100. If you do it $8 a pop, and you do it over the course of a year, you're probably about $100 in car washes. Oil changes will be $240, depending on how many miles you put on the car, how often you drive, maintenance, new tires. In the first year, you shouldn't have to put new tires. Even if you drove 30,000, 40,000 miles, you should be okay. Okay, so $37,000 for the new car after taxes. Home internet, it's gonna be about $900 a year, and cell phone will be about $2,100 a year. Anything else? If you're tight like that? Oh, clothes. Yeah, I forgot about that. Let's say you buy 5 shirts a year, maybe less. Maybe I don't even do that. 200. Okay, shirts. Anything else I can think of? A new computer, laptop. I mean, you're gonna be a millionaire, so you could buy at least a good gaming laptop or a good gaming desktop. So I would say 3,000. Not every year though. So one-time expense of a new computer gaming laptop, gaming rig. You're gonna probably spend about 3,000 if you want a good one. 3,000 times 2 because your spouse might want one, so 6,000. Insurance, that is a big one. Full coverage insurance. Well, I already know how much I pay. I would say about $220 a month. 220 times 12. And I have no car accident history, so $2,600 a month for insurance. Car insurance. We're not even including house insurance. 640. Ugh, shit's expensive, man. Okay, car insurance. I'll just say 3,000. That'll include homeowners insurance. Usually with insurance providers, they give you car and homeowners. Car and home. You're gonna spend about 3,000 a year. minimum. For a nice car like that, yeah, you're gonna spend. Okay, anything else I could think of? Okay, so taxes. How much are taxes on a $200,000 house? $200,000 house in Bear County. Estimated taxes will be $3,282 a year. Okay, home taxes will be $3,282 a year. Holy shit, that's bad. Oh no, it'll be conversion rate is 2.3. Oh, my bad. It'll be $4,100 a year. Okay, taxes. $4,100 a year. All right, let's add all this up now. I mean, I can't, I'm thinking about, I'm not including food either, but I'll just say 2,000 for food, 3,000 for. Well, it depends on how fancy you are. I would say about $3,000 for food. Food. That's it. Let's add it up. 5 million. Okay, let's add it up. Let's add everything up. So $2,100 for cell phone plus home internet is $900, assuming you don't buy TV services. So $37,000 for a new car. $3,000 for food. $240 for oil changes. Oh, you got to buy an air filter too for the first 20,000, 25,000 miles. So you probably want to get an air filter. Let's just add $15, $25 to that if you install it yourself. Oh, and a cabin air filter, which is $25 if you want to get the fancy one. $100 for car wash. So cell phone, home internet is $900. 37,000 for the new car, assuming you have $5 million. 3,000 for food. 240 for oil changes. $100 for car wash. $60. Yeah, $60 for like cabin and air filters. Okay, and then $204,000 for the house. You spent $5 million. You've spent $247,900 so far. That's your house. That's a new car. That's everything for the car in the first year. Assuming you're good with maintenance. Your taxes. Okay, let's add the taxes to that first house. They might be a little bit higher the first year, so we'll say $4,100. Car insurance will be about $3,000, including homeowners insurance. Car and home. Yep. Taxes about $4,100. $262,100 in the first year. So out of $5 million, and this is including the first year of life with $5 million, you are going to spend $262,100. Okay, $5 million, and you're going to spend $262,100. $4.737,900,000. So we've already got the car out of the picture. It's already paid for in cash. You just pay for insurance, and then $207,000 for the house, including the taxes, which will be $4,100 a year no matter what. Assuming that nothing goes wrong in the first few years, which it shouldn't, especially with a new house, with proper construction material. $262,100. Property taxes will be $4,100. So your first investment is going to leave you at about $4,737,000. So that's already like 5% of your $5 million. So if you're at $262,000, okay. So the second year, you don't buy it, assuming you don't buy any more cars, should be about. Well, I didn't buy a gaming rig this year, but I bought a new cell phone, which was $1,500. Let's say you go crazy and you get the fancy cell phone. So assuming that water and gas doesn't change and you don't go crazy with gas, and I should have added about $1,000 of gas. So $277,000. It should have been $277,000. Okay, so about $1,000 of gas. Okay. So this next year, so you're gonna spend $207,000. How much you guys spend? Okay, so $262,100. We should go to $263,000 for gas. I forgot about that. 63,000. Okay, we'll just say $263,000. Okay, so the second year now is $1,000 for gas, plus $240 for oil changes. $100 for car washes, so sometimes you get fancy. $60 for oil, air filter, and cabin air filter to keep your car fresh. You're gonna spend about $2,100 for cell phones, plus $3,000 for new cell phones because you upgraded and you pay them in full. So $5,100 just for cell phones for the whole year, including taxes and the monthly. Maybe they got cheaper, so we'll drop off $300 a year. So we'll go down to $4,700 for that year straight. Plus $900 for the home internet. Plus no new car, just the oil changes. $3,000 for food. Probably more than that, but I mean, if you're not eating that much. So the car's already paid for. So just water, which is $1,000 a year. Gas is about $600 a year. In Texas, it's cheap. No new gaming rigs because your first year you got a really top of the line gaming rig. Nothing goes wrong with it. Car insurance is still about $3,200 a year. No car accidents. Taxes are $4,100 a year. $17,740 to live with everything. So new cell phones, cell phone plans, water is about $1,000, gas, you don't have an HOA fee, car insurance, and homeowners insurance. In taxes, be about $4,100. So assuming that you just do all these kind of little maintenance things, and you're going to spend about $17K a year. Well, maybe add about $5,000 in trips. So we'll just add $5,000 in trips. You know, trips, going to Texas, going to Big Bend, going to California, spending in hotels. Maybe add another $2,000 because you are a millionaire. So $24,000 a year. So over the next 12 years, assuming you do about all of that without going crazy, $46,000. Wait, that doesn't sound right. Remember that 24. We'll just say 26,000 a year times 12. So at 12 years later, you've spent $312,000. That is just. Let's go back to let's go 27. Let's just say 28,000. Let's say you buy extra TVs and the future technology, whatever. We'll add a few $1,000s more, assuming. And then let's times that by 30 years. So over the next 30 years, you've spent about $840,000. And if I would already be 60 years old. So I would still have assuming that you were pretty cheap, food is $3,000, basic maintenance on a car. You're gonna have to buy another car, so add about another $30,000 to that. $870,000 over the course of 30 years. Minus. This is 30 years though. 870,000. You'll be left with $3,867,900. Bam. So assuming that shit doesn't go up too much in the next 30 years, you should theoretically be able to afford 30 years expenses paid. Now let's go crazy. We'll say $30,000 a year on the luxury lifestyle without a job. And let's times that by 50 years. If you're even alive at that point. Just assuming you just go on trips for like 5,000 or whatever a year or something like that. In your car or whatever, a few airplane trips or something to like a different country. And then you spend about a K or two on hotel or motels in their respective country, and you get a rental car. Theoretically, after 50 years, you could still be left with $3,867,900. And we're not even including the part where you might be investing all that money into a savings account with high interest. So you should be able to knock some of those thousands off over the years. And then if you get cash back credit cards, you could save a little bit more money, theoretically. So, but over a course of 50 years, assuming that taxes don't go up too much, you shouldn't, and oil changes get a little bit more cheaper, not more expensive, or they stay around the same. But let's just, for security purposes, let's knock off $300,000 because of the simple fact that over 50 years, because everything's going to price gouge in about 50 years, assuming nothing goes wrong with the world. You'll still be left with $3,500,000. And that's with the house after about 60 years. House will be old. It'll need some maintenance. Plus inflation and maintenance costs. If you're still alive and your sons are still alive, they will be left with about $3.5 million after 50 years. Assuming you don't go crazy and spend all the money on stupid shit. And plus, I just put inflation of $300,000. So, or 200,000, 300,000. So after 50 years, you should theoretically, after paying taxes and cell phones and buying new cell phones, well, let me subtract about $20,000 from that for buying all new cell phones over the course of so many years. I think after that I'll get bored after a certain amount, but you would still be left with $3,547.90. But let's just go crazy. Let's say we buy 3 cars over the course of 50 years. Me and Peely like 5 cars. but you don't buy any fancy cars, you could be left with, we'll just minus $50,000 from that because you're buying a new car every 10 years, 20 years, every 15 to 20 years, and you're not driving as much as you used to. You would still be left with $3.497 million or $3.447 million after taxes, everything. And then you use cashback credit cards where you'll get discounts. So you could save a lot of money theoretically. So if you have $5 million and you do exactly what I say when you purchase the house at the time, and if you purchase the house now at about $200,000, theoretically, after 50 fucking years, you would still be a millionaire, even with inflation. You would still be a millionaire and still have a lot of money left over to spend in emergency situations. And if you spend about $5,000 in luxury each year, you should be okay. Wow. 50 years, remember that. We're talking about 50 years, though. So assuming you buy about a $200,000 house and you just have the basic essentials paid for in full on auto pay, you get discounts on that too. And then assuming you just pay your taxes every year and you pay your car and your insurance, and then you also get an income tax too. So you're not remembering that too. You also get income taxes, or you'll get tax back, money back. So you can subtract that a little bit too from everything that you buy. You can add that into your taxes and get a little bit of money back. So theoretically, you should be able to get your money back on some of that stuff. And you'll probably have about $3.4 million after 50 years. If you're tight, if you're really tight on money, and you just do the basics and you don't go crazy with the money, you could have $3.4 million after. You could live on $5 million for 50 years. Very easily. Well, let's assume you get into a fender bender and it causes your car to be totaled. Well, I don't know. I'll just subtract another $40,000 from that because you're not going crazy with cars. So $3.47 million even after all that shit. So theoretically, to live on this earth, you would need to live decently, you would need about $1.7 million. And if you're tight with it, you would need $1.7 million to live a really good life, to live with all bills paid all the time, including inflation. If you buy a nice car, but you buy a basic car, and then the taxes come out to about $40K, you could live decently. And that's with a child. I'm including at least one child. Even private school, what, $90,000 for his lifestyle? $3.37 million. You'll still be with $3.317 million. You'll still be a millionaire. Not bad. This is how much money you'll be left with after 50 years. You'll be left with $3.317,900 after all buying cell phones every year, going out on luxury vacations, eating that 5-star, maybe not 5-star, but eating at restaurants, buying food from HEB or wherever respective. If you're from Florida, Publix. That's what I'm saying. The family part. That's what I'm saying. The baby bed, the people that watch your children while you're gone. When you're a millionaire, you're probably going to want a private. I don't know how much that is a year. Oh, and groundskeeping. I forgot groundskeeping. Let me subtract about another $500,000 from that. No, I'll subtract $50,000 from that because it's not that expensive to maintenance. Groundkeeping is not that expensive if you pay that monthly. $3.267 million. You're still good. And let's say the child needs a car. We'll get him a futuristic fucking Honda Civic or something. We're gonna spend about $30,000 on his safety plus his insurance, but he'll have a job. So we don't need to include that into the expenses after we buy him his car. He can pay for insurance. So $3.237 million, you're still a millionaire after 50 years. You're still a millionaire after 50 years. And that's going crazy. Like, we're going crazy. Like, buying extra shit and shit. Wow, well then, we might as well just subtract $3 million from that. Well, you'll be left after 50 years, $237,000. There you go. You'll be broke in 50 years. That's fucked up. But theoretically, though, assuming Bernie Sanders does not become president, you should be okay. If he wants to take out 90%, dude, nobody's gonna want to vote for him. Nobody's gonna vote for somebody who's gonna take out 90% tax. Nobody. But other than that, you'll be left with over $3 million. So if you have $5 million in the bank, theoretically, you can live the rest of your life good with $5 million. If you're tight, you can live the rest of your life really good. Really good. You could buy new cell phones every few years, every couple years for 50 years, and you'll be fine. You could buy a car every 10 years and be fine. AOC, Alexandria or Ortez, or whatever her name is. No. Hell no. I wouldn't pick any of them. I wouldn't pick any of them. Are you crazy, bro? They're the evil. I'll be right back. I'm using the restroom, but hell no. Yeah. So yeah. So about well, Bernie is a communist. He doesn't love America. He loves himself and how he can control people. I've already seen that from Bernie. Even his intern said the same thing. Look it up on Project Veritas and see what I'm talking about. All right. So, anyways, so even if you spent $250,000 on medical bills over the years, heart attack, etc., blah blah blah, stroke or something on one of your family members or yourself, and you're still doing okay. I mean, you're looking at about 3.2 million still. I mean, unless you want to get tight, but 3.24 million. I mean, you're still have a few $1,000,000 to live off of. But this is assuming that you're not getting an income from investing either. So you could invest and then make millions of dollars more. So that's also a possibility too if you know what you're investing in and you know how to invest. So if you know how to invest, then you could turn that 3 million into 30, 40 million. And then you could live better if you wanted to. I'm assuming. But if you didn't invest anything and you kept everything cheap, got a nice house for 200,000 brand new, and you just did your maintenance on the house every few years, air duct cleaning work for the air conditioner, new air conditioner every 10 years, new water heater every 10 years, you would you would still be about 3.2 million, 4 million after maintenance, houses, homeowners insurance, deductibles in case a tornado hits your house or an earthquake destroys your property or something stupid, a house fire, whatever. You would you would still be good. You would still be pretty good even after about 50 years. Even with inflation of $300,000, you would still be good. You would still be a millionaire. Assuming you don't get into a car accident, they sue you, um, you have a dash cam proving that you're innocent, um, you would still be a millionaire after 50 years. Test, test, 1, 2, 3, test, 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 test. Oh, I guess it doesn't work no more.